Welcome to Destination Fulfillment, life coaching for business owners. I'm Janine.
And I'm Rodney. And today we have a very special treat for you. This is going to be part one of a two-part series going all in on the Energy Leadership Index. So as I mentioned, today we are going to be doing part one of a part two series on the Energy Leadership Index Assessment, a proprietary tool of IPEC, the Institute for Professional Excellence in Coaching. Now the ELI, which is what I'll be referring to as from now on, is a very comprehensive assessment to determine what your current state is with respect to all aspects of life, your satisfaction, where you might be lacking, where you might be excelling, and how to bring you up to the very next level, how to bring you into a place of total fulfillment. And that's what we're all about here at Destination Fulfillment. So Janine is going to be the guinea pig in this episode. She actually took the assessment. How did you feel taking the assessment?
I felt like the questions were pretty easy, and I just intuitively answered them, and I don't really think that it was like difficult or that it was challenging or that like I really had to think of an answer. Like it just, it asked me how I would react in a certain situation, and I was like, oh, well, I would do this. So I'm interested to see how that equates to my energy levels in every day.
So in the Energy Leadership Index, there are 7 different levels, and there are 7 different categories of energy, and they're listed 1 through 7. 1 being the most catabolic and 7 being the most anabolic. But we're going to get into all of that in just a moment, and I just wanted to preface this by saying that Janine is not a client of mine. She is my wife, and I would never try to coach her because there is a conflict there. This is a exercise that I was able to have her take the assessment, and now I'm going to debrief and go over her results. Her specific results will be more into part 2 of this 2-part episode, and part 1 is going to be a deep dive into what the assessment itself is all about and some of Janine's feedbacks and understanding from taking the assessment. And then if she were to work with another coach in the future, which she's worked with other coaches before, and I'm sure she'll work with another coach again, this is a great starting point that I do with all new clients. This is how we begin our coaching relationship. I have my clients take this assessment and we debrief it and go over the results, and then we have a better foundation to establish what the goals are for my client and their business to move forward in our coaching relationship, so that we can establish a concrete structure to launch us off into bigger and better things, to find fulfillment, to take them and their business to the next level of success. That's a long-winded version of she is not my client, but we are going to get right into this as if she were.
And part of this is that I've, heard Rodney discussing, the ELI with other coaches and the impact it has, and we've discussed it, and I pretty much had to beg him to be like, let's do this. I want to do it. I want to try it. I want to see what my results are, and see how I can, harness certain things and let other things go. So he's finally agreed, and so I'm excited to share the results with everyone.
Excellent. So today we're going to be taking about a half an hour to really go into the assessment and start prefacing some leading questions, not leading questions, but intuitive questions to kind of understand the Janine's interpretation of some of the questions and her results of the Energy Leadership Index assessment. And then in the second part of this episode, it'll be a lot more asking questions and explaining the different types of energy levels, or different types of energy levels and Janine's specific levels within each one of those. How much level 1 does she have? How much level 2 is she? How much level 3? How does this respond in her normal everyday life, or when she's stressed, when something's going wrong? This isn't going to be a typical coaching session. I'm not trying to pretend that this is a coaching session. It is a debrief of your assessment results. So I will be talking a lot more than I would in a regular coaching session. So please, this is a debriefing of the results session and not to be mistaken with a coaching session.
Understood.
All right. So we'll be discussing the assessment in general and looking at your scores and discuss potential developmental areas and answer any questions that you might have along the way. Okay?
Sounds good.
All right. So what were you hoping to see in your assessment results?
I think I was hoping to see strong leadership skills where, maybe having both, having influence over people, but in like a positive way, not in like a demeaning way, if that makes sense. Like, I really want to help people, and I'm really passionate about helping people achieve their dreams and their goals, but in a way that's positive. I'm envisioning that cartoon, I'm sure a lot of people have seen it, where it's like, it shows the difference between a boss and a leader, and the boss is like standing on a pedestal, like charging people to do something with like a whip or something like that.
Right.
And then in the next section, it's like showing the leader like pulling the box with the
employees.
Yeah. So
yeah.
I want to be the second box, not the first box. That's what I'm hoping.
Okay. So to paraphrase, you're hoping to see some strong leadership qualities and show that you have the ability to influence people to become successful and influence people to work together well as a team without being manipulative.
Yeah.
So being able to influence versus being able to manipulate. I think that's kind of where you're saying when you said like in a positive way.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that sounds right.
So why would you say that it was important to you to see that you have strong leadership skills?
I think because of my goals for our business and my career and my life, it takes, as I say, it takes a village, and I want to be one of those people that people always not necessarily look up to, but are willing to engage with and follow and trust. I think to me it speaks a lot about trust. And, you're not going to trust somebody who's always manipulative, but you're going to trust somebody who is willing to, get in the dirt and work with you to accomplish a goal.
Okay, great. So you're wanting to really kind of see that you have the leadership abilities to be a hands-on leader that people not only follow because you're the boss, but follow you because they respect you and they know that you're there for them and you're going to be right there in the dirt with them.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, as individuals, we view the world through a set of filters. For example, if you're wearing blue-colored glasses, the world is going to look blue. If you're wearing green-colored glasses, the world will look green. We all have these filters, and they're based on all of our combined life experiences and the influences of people and the world around us. They form the basis of our belief system, and the way we view and approach situations. In many instances, our filters help achieve success. However, in other aspects, they can be limiting and even create tension or stress in our life. These filters shape the way we show up. They affect our reactions and our responses to every single situation, to all the people in all aspects of our life. The Energy Leadership Index reveals the specific filters that you've developed and how they are influencing your life. It also uncovers the thinking and perceptions that might be creating stress or holding you back from achieving your goals. After all, the ability to achieve success, happiness, and purpose happens when we are able to recognize and release internal challenges and blocks. The assessment measures two main elements. The first is your energetic profile, which is your typical energy on a given day. Like a typical good day, that's going to be your energy level. That's what we're measuring, your profile. This is your general makeup. And the other is your energetic stress reaction, which is how you react to stresses. This is important because recognizing your reaction or your response to a stressful situation is the first step towards reducing the level of stress you experience. Make sense?
Makes sense.
So when you know how you are reacting to a stressful situation, you will more easily be able to see when you are in stress, because there's a lot of deniability there usually, and we can start to understand, like, oh, I'm feeling this way, I'm stressed. What is causing my stress? Why am I responding in this way? And then you can start to, like I said, reduce that amount of stress, or at least how long you stay in the stress. You can start to minimize that.
Mm-hmm.
Both of these, the energetic profile and the energetic stress reaction, are indicators of your current potential to motivate and inspire not only yourself, but the others, the leadership quality that we talk about. To understand how you engage in life, and to understand your awareness of who you are and what life is about. This is important because people become more conscious and engaged the fewer judgments they make, which causes their stress levels to decrease. And this is because instead of judging things as either good or bad, they're better able to approach a situation in a neutral way that raises their levels of productivity, satisfaction, and fulfillment. So what questions, if any, do you have so far about what I've said?
None, really. I mean,
it's pretty straightforward,
yeah,
right?
it's pretty straightforward. I'm looking at my results and I'm like, now I'm a little more curious.
Okay. Well, in order to understand your energetic profile and your energetic stress reaction, let's take a moment to talk about what we mean when we say energy. You know, we're not just talking about the electricity that's charging the outlet that your phone charger is plugged into, that's creating all the energy for the devices that sustain our lives. We are talking about, what makes us who we are. So there are two types of energy. They're described in your report, but we'll go over them again now. So let's start with the catabolic energy. What do you remember reading about catabolic energy?
I remember catabolic energy being negative energy, so to speak. As I know it said something about, like, there's no such thing as bad energy and good energy, but catabolic is, like, detrimental to... Is that right?
Yeah. It's very much a destructive type of force. It's a force that can often tear things down. It's often associated with stress, especially high levels of stress. When someone perceives a situation as being stressful, the brain creates these catabolic hormones like adrenaline and cortisol. The purpose of these hormones is to break down your body's cells and tissues to provide energy to push you through the stress. That's why if you go back to the times when you're in the jungle or you're out on the plains and we're real primitive caveman. When you see a threat, when you see something that threatens your life, your catabolic hormones kick in really strongly, creating that adrenaline to get your heart pumping faster, to burn the calories, which is that tearing down of your blood cells and tissues, to provide you with the energy to get you through to safety. And that's exactly the same thing here. So in a way, like you said, there's not really a good or a bad. This is just a type of energy. But it often comes when we're in a stressful situation. So while people can work really well under stress and experience those short-term success, the long-term impact, though, can be draining and even impact your level of fulfillment and satisfaction. When people experience stress, it is difficult to look past that stressor and really look at the big picture. The example I gave, like you're running away from a predator that's going to try and eat you. Mm-hmm. If you're super focused on what's behind you and that predator, you're not able to see that big picture, and there might be a river or a cliff or something coming up to where you're no longer going to be able to get away, or you might even be putting yourself in even greater danger. So now let's talk about the anabolic energy. What do you remember reading about that?
Anabolic energy, I remember it being the opposite of catabolic. So in a sense, I keep trying to go back to like good or positive, but it's where catabolic is destructive, anabolic is constructive.
It's completely normal to have that reference to go back to good or bad, positive and negative. That's the way society has shaped us over the millennia, to know right from wrong, good from bad. So don't worry about it. This is a difficult concept for many people to really grasp until they get that full level of self-awareness. But in a way, you were right when you said that it's very much the opposite. Catabolic is deconstructive, anabolic is constructive. It builds us up. It's a building force that is associated with less stressful situations. This happens because the brain isn't under stress, so it's telling the body to release anabolic hormones that are designed to optimize our systems. As a result, it is easier for us to focus on situations and tap into our creative side and express and experience a more complete and conscious view of situations. The less judgment and fear people have about themselves and every situation, the more anabolic energy that they can access. So let's do an experiment to illustrate catabolic energy. For a few moments, could you just tell me something that you are really passionate about and why?
I guess I'm really passionate about helping people and lifting people out of whatever trouble it is that they are experiencing at the moment or long term even.
Okay. I'm going to stop you right there. Now, I want you to continue to tell me about it, but what I want you to do is, I want you to take 2 fingers and jab yourself in the ribs really hard.
I don't want to do that.
Like this.
Ah! Yeah.
Right there. You feel that?
Yep.
Now, with your fingers in your ribs, keep talking about what you're passionate about. Don't forget to push.
I'm pushing and it hurts. So
tell me about helping people.
I like helping people realize that they're able to...
Okay. You can take your fingers out of your ribs. I can tell that was hurting you. I don't want to see my wife in pain.
Most of the
Or
time.
do I? Just kidding. So what was the difference when you were talking with the fingers in your ribs?
It was harder to concentrate on the question, on the answer.
Yeah, it's difficult to split your focus there.
Mm-hmm.
And energy or catabolic energy works just like the finger in the ribs. It distracts you and it pulls your focus away from what you're trying to accomplish and towards what's painful or stressful. So, like you said, you read in the results pamphlet, neither type of energy is positive or negative. It's not good and it's not bad. They both serve a powerful and important purpose. The key is to know if you are experiencing them by choice because they serve you, or by default because it's what you're used to. Let's turn to page 4 in your report and look at the two types of energy. So the results are based on how you answered the questions. If someone has a negative reaction to an area of the report, that might validate the results for them. For example, people whose report shows that they have a great deal of conflict and anger may become angry with the results. Make sense?
That makes sense.
Yeah. So let's take a look at your results. Go ahead and turn to page 10 in your report and look at the chart representing the energetic profile and the energetic stress reaction. Your energetic profile is the top chart. Are you there?
Yep, I'm there.
All right. And the energetic stress reaction is the bottom chart. So now, for those of you listening at home, she's now looking at a page with two charts on them. The bar on they're two different bar graphs representing the different energy levels. So each bar graph has 7 bars on there, and these are showing Janine's specific energy levels in both her energetic profile, which is again her daily life on how she reacts in any good time, and then her energetic stress reaction, which is exactly what it sounds like. So the blue bars represent the amount of energy you have in each of the 7 levels. As we review the charts, it's important to notice that everyone's energetic profile is normal for who they are. It's based on your levels of consciousness and your past experiences. It's a representation of what currently is, and it's not a prediction of what will be or what could be. You have the right to choose what your life is going to turn out to be, and you can change it if you want to, or you can stay exactly as it is. It's completely your choice. This is not locked in stone. So the top chart is your energetic profile. Your energetic profile is your overall energetic makeup, your unique combination of the 7 levels of energy, which creates your typical viewpoint and perceptions and beliefs about life. Your energetic profile determines how you approach life when things are going well for you. As you read the report, you had an opportunity to read about the 7 levels of energy. According to the top chart, which 2 levels have the longest bars?
For me, it's level 4 is the longest, and then level 5 is the second longest, but it's pretty, really, really close to level 3.
Okay, so level 5 and level 3 are pretty close to being tied?
Yeah.
But level 5 beats it out?
Yes.
Okay. So level 5 has a lot of the opportunity mindset, that you're always looking for the win-win. You have that kind of mentality where you want to succeed, but you also want the people around you to succeed. Even if your goals might not be the same, you're willing to help them when they need help. Now level 4 is a lot about which is your primary, is a lot about helping others. It's very much compassion driven. People who experience a lot of level 4 energy are willing to put their own needs aside to help others become successful, to help others meet their needs and goals. And this is true both in business and in personal relationships. You're willing to sacrifice so that others can be successful. Many people, especially mothers, feel this because they have that compassion for their children, in the sense that they'll do anything for them. They'll put themselves in harm's way in order to make them successful and the children to be successful. So I think this is going to be a good spot to stop for this episode, and join us back for the next episode, which is going to be released one day after this episode, and we will kick back up with talking about how Janine reacts to stress. I already have a pretty good idea, being her husband, because I stress her out a lot. I mean, a lot.
Not that much, but he does stress me out.
Especially when I accidentally fart in her general direction. That may or may not have happened today, but you know what? Things happen. I appreciate everyone here listening. Please follow us on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. You can reach out to us directly on our website at dioriocoaching.com. You can send us a message right there if you're interested in taking this ELI debrief yourself. Whether you hire me as a coach or not, this is something I offer as a single item if you wanted to do this debrief and get your results. You can do that today at dioriocoaching.com. That's DEIORIO coaching.com.
And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode of Destination Fulfillment.
Yeah, subscribe so you can get notified when we launch the second part and the conclusion of this episode. As well, I would like to say anyone who's in the Chicago area that August 25th, that is a week from tomorrow, there is a free small business expo in Chicago. Go to smallbusinessexpo.com. You can find all the details, the exact time and location for the event. It is free. You just have to register in advance and show up. I will be speaking at the event on business stress. I will be speaking at the end of the day at 4 p.m.
3 p.m.
3 p.m. So I look forward to seeing all of you there. And with that, have a wonderful rest of your day, and we will talk to you tomorrow.